Hi there, it's Kareem Habibi from Keeper's Nursery. Today is the 24th of January 2025. It's my first video of the new year. Basically, I wanted to show you all about my breeding project for this season. So, over here, we've got approximately 600 or so apple seeds growing. They were germinated. So I do the stratification straight after I collect the seeds. So they are staggered. Some of the ones back here were later varieties, so you can see they are smaller. So these seeds, I've got everything. It's important to record everything, but some of these seedlings would have been, let's see, I can actually go up to them. So, for example, that's Temptation crossed with Riker. So, and that means that there are 4 seeds there. So all 4 have grown. That means Temptation was the like the mother. Riker was the pollen parent. And now these are growing here nicely. So these Temptation's quite a late season variety. Compare it to something like this. This is John Downey crossed with Riker, so these seeds are slightly more advanced. It's quite so when I stratify them, basically they go straight in the fridge, damp, and it only takes about a month or two. It was during the sort of Christmas period where I had a bit of free time that I started putting these into pots. It does take a very long time to do this because you also have to record everything. Got a big sheet of everything that I have so that I don't accidentally lose anything. Most of the seeds, as you can see, have germinated. Some, people do worry about things going moldy in the fridge. I've never sort of had the issue. I mean, the paper that I use, the kitchen roll, does look a bit moldy. The seeds are absolutely fine. So I'm curious to know why people are so concerned about things going moldy in the fridge. Seeds obviously exist in damp conditions, that in the soil or in fecal matter before they germinate. So I don't know. I've not had the issue. Maybe I'm lucky. So they've been germinating throughout January. I've got these lovely grow lights here. Bit pricey. I've also sort of silvered out the room. It does look a bit like a dodgy sort of drug den, but it's not. I assure you, if Kent police are watching, these are all apple pips. I've even got the fan there. You can come visit anytime. I mean, my neighbour's a policeman. He can pop round. But this the issue that I'm running into, I reckon, is these seedlings are going to get quite big. Today's a horrible day. There's a storm. Soon, I need to actually start planting these into bigger pots. I didn't think about this at the time. I was just keen because my ideal is to grow these seedlings as tall as I can so that I can sort of get through the juvenile stage. And there is an idea that basically you want to get to sort of 70 odd nodes, which is about 2 meters of growth. So right now these are, I'd say, sort of 5 to 10 centimeters tall. A node is basically where the leaf is. So right now these have got 2 or 3 nodes. This is just the cotyledon. Maybe it doesn't matter. Growing them as fast as I can means that an extra month, a month of January, would have been handy for growing. Last season I did this, but I started them off in February, so I'm a month ahead already, which is great. Problem is I can't plant them out anywhere. I would put them in the glass house. The problem is it's still quite cold, and I am extremely concerned with rodents coming. We've got mice and voles and shrews that would love nothing more than to come across these. That's why I do this in this sort of in this grow room, as I call it, with the silver foil. The silver foil is there so that light from the light basically bounces off the walls, and they're dimpled so that it actually sort of disperses in multiple angles, so it's not a clear reflection. And it means that these seedlings on the sides actually gain some light from the side, so they're not just growing at an angle towards the light. That is an issue. So basically, these were growing. I decided very late in the game, I wish I'd done this at the start, was to buy some of these. So I spent about £200 on a huge box of these. Are called maxi root growers. So basically, you fold them up, and sorry, it's quite hard to do with one hand. you fold them up and there you go. You've got basically, I didn't want to buy stuff because I've got so many spare pots from over the years, but you do have to invest in a bit of plastic occasionally, annoyingly. These are 20 centimeters long because they're the maxi ones, and as a trial I've done, I guess, 44 here. They seem to transplant extremely nicely. They're not at all sort of worried. Some of these roots are extremely exposed when I sort of pull them out of these pots. So there's pots with about 4 or 5 seedlings in, and yeah, I mean the roots were completely exposed with some of them. They don't look too upset. I've actually lowered the light intensity to 25% so that they're not sort of getting too tired. You have to water them. The idea is basically these will possibly allow me an extra month in here, so that in March, when the weather outside is nicer and the glass house is a bit warmer and hopefully rodents are looking elsewhere for food, I can whack these all in the glass house. And what you do is you can just pop these open, and individually basically you'll have a plant growing, well, the leafy bit up here, and the roots will all be down here, and they'll be individual, so you can sort of pull that out without disturbing it anymore, pop that into a bigger pot, a 3-litre pot. And yeah, it's important that I've also got under here, you've got the heat, sort of a heated mat. Some of these are from Hotbox. They're very good. You do need a big tray, big sturdy tray. It's a lot of investment, to be fair, and some capillary matting as well under there. So you basically don't water the plants, you just chuck all the water into the capillary matting. What generally happens is, so you don't want to do this too much, but I'm going to start repotting them. The roots at the very bottom, you can probably see some white hairs. Those are in contact with the capillary matting. You don't want to keep breaking that, but you want to keep the capillary matting from drying out, and that's where the water is sort of absorbed back into the pot. So last night this was sort of soaked up to, about 1 finger of water throughout the whole thing, and that's all just soaked into the pots again. And that's exactly the same with these, because when you close them at the bottom it's open, so the roots will eventually sort of feed through the bottom. But when you fill this up to sort of, I filled this one up to about two fingers, that is all absorbed back up into the soil. You don't actually want to pour water on top. That's where you're going to get fungal problems. So anyway, that's a quick highlight. And yes, so these what do you call it? The heated mats. Those are all sort of controlled with those. Oh wow, it flashes on that, doesn't it? That's cool. They're about sort of 15 degrees, but basically under these lights you can get up to sort of 20 degrees if you put them on full intensity. Just to show you what the difference is, you twizzle this knob on this Lumitech, and that gets really bright, and then you turn it down. And this one's the fancier model, which actually doesn't work. It doesn't do it as dramatically. You've got a knob on the wall, which when you do it, it does it gradually. Oh yeah, that's got really bright now. And then you turn it down. And I've turned it off somehow. Oops. And they're all on timers as well, which is important, so I don't have to do anything. And you can whack the fan on, just so there aren't any hot spots. Anyway, I don't know what people are doing, probably not investing as much money as me into doing this, but it's yeah, it's a cool part of the business which I really enjoy. So I'm sort of doing all this, and it is actually worth doing it properly, because if you can get, so I'm going to turn the fan off, if you can get the seedlings to grow very, very tall in the first year, you don't have to look after trees in pots as long, and you also get fruit quicker off the seedlings. You reduce that juvenile stage. That's all going to basically save you time, which is good. Do I want to wait 3 or 4 years to see fruit on my seedling trees, or do I want to wait sort of 5-6 years? If you wait 3 or 4 years, you can then breed again, you can test them again. I'm going to have a huge issue of actually keeping on top of thousands of seedlings, and knowing which ones are good and culling which ones. That's my problem, maybe my kids will help one day. But anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. If you happen to have a radio and you live in England, you can listen to my program. I don't know what it's going to be exactly about, but maybe some stuff about apple breeding. I'm on Radio 4 on Sunday. What will it be? The Sunday? I don't know the date of it, but this Sunday, this coming Sunday, 6:35 in the morning. There's a sort of 20-minute program on national radio with me and Sarah on. Sarah just did the sort of interview, but she was very nice. And you can do that. You can also listen to that on BBC Sounds and sort of catch up service. So hopefully, yeah. Also comment if you like that. Thanks again for watching. I'll do more videos when I've got more free time. I haven't got much time these days. Busy guy. Take care. Bye.